Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us here at Forza Innovations channel. Just want to let you all know what we're going to be doing with this video series. We'll be running through company updates and industry updates, answering any questions you guys have for us. If you have any during any of this, don't be afraid to send them over. And of course, introducing members of the team. So who better to kick us off for video number one than President and CEO of Forza Innovations, Johnny Forzani. Johnny, how are you doing today?
I'm doing outstanding. I'm back in San Diego. The sun is shining. The lab is getting set up. So despite the market being the tank for everybody and the world collapsing under the crypto world, I would say I am fantastic.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Sometimes when things get a little wild, just have to remind yourself, it's like, listen, it's a beautiful Friday afternoon and enjoy it while you have it, right?
God, eternal optimist. I got to be more like you, Michael.
Fair enough. Well, listen, Johnny, let's dive into your past a little bit before we get too deep into the company, right? Let's paint a picture of you a little bit. So tell us where you got your entrepreneurial spark and how you got to where you are today.
Well, I always told Miss Parnell, my second grade teacher, that I would be an entrepreneur with my own business. She said I need to study more in school. I went my route. So I will say I was always a very, very subpar student. And trust me, I'm not going to walk you through every year from third grade. I was a very subpar student, but always had the entrepreneurial spirit, should I say. I was always obsessed with buying something for $5 and flipping it for 10, I guess, since I was a little kid. Started with different shoes to, Pogs, remember the cards, everything in that world. Basically, I was trying to buy it and sell it. I dedicated my life mostly to sports. I ended up playing college football at Washington State. Got a Division I scholarship to Washington State, played wide receiver there for 2 seasons. And this is where it gets into, really what got me started and taking the next step from just saying, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I've got ideas, to actually commercializing of my first project and product. I was used to playing cold weather sports pretty much my whole life, but I really noticed it playing football in college at Washington State. It was always cold, wet, and rainy, and your hands are just going to be just frozen stiff, right? Your extremities are the first thing to go. That's probably when the first idea blossomed in my head, but I didn't really start capitalizing on it until I got drafted to my hometown team, the Calgary Stampeders. And literally, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was -30 we were playing in a playoff game. It was literally no shit, -30.
Wow.
The wind chill, I don't even know how bad with the wind chill. And the whole team was basically like huddling over the propane tanks, where they would just put their hands over it to try to get them warm. Yeah. And they were using those little chemical hot packs that you held on to. And I was just blown away that like Nike or Under Armour, none of the majors, had created anything that was of value that was better than these incumbent products. And so that's when it first stemmed for me that I wanted to build a product geared towards cold weather sports, but made in mind for football players, receivers, to keep their hands warm while playing these crazy outdoor frigid climate games. And from there, after the season, I literally moved to China. I Googled heated clothing suppliers. I just, basically fell face first in the mud several times over there until I was able to build a working prototype and make the journey real.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's start with this. First off, yeah, I mean, that's interesting upbringing. You had the entrepreneurial spark at a young age. Very, very Gary Vaynerchuk of you. Yes, have that spark so young. And obviously sports play a big role in giving people a lot of motivation and discipline to get things done when things get difficult and be a team player, which really does apply to the business world. And, I was a winter sports person too, but I was a wrestler. We had the wisdom to do that inside. That was how we solved that problem. But
you're smarter, but I can't say you're not just as tough, because those guys are crazy too. So I would have said that, but that could have backfired.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, listen, Johnny. So you went to China. The entrepreneur spirit is alive now. Tell me about how that ended in success for you, and then how that led to Forza Innovations today.
Well, good question. I really had no choice. I had destroyed my ankle, shortly after, later in the season. I destroyed my ankle. I had 2 surgeries to try to repair the ligaments. And they're just wasn't a chance of me. It still bugs me to this day, put it that way. 8 years later, still bugs me to this day. So thank God I was pushing forward. I know, football is very short-lived. All pro sports are, but especially that one. So my mind was always, I loved it. My focus was on my job day to day, but I loved to visualize what it could be if I built a solid product business, or I was able to actually commercialize the product I was working on. And so I was pretty much forced into it, but instead I did not spend much time feeling sorry for myself or complaining. I basically just picked my ass up and got over to China and started working on the prototyping aspect. And I can tell you that process was not smooth at all. There's 3 years in between this of feeling like I was so close and then just taking 3 steps back. But at the end of the day, it was a big win for sure. Like I said, the story could be very long, but the bottom line, I guess I could wrap things up on the G-Tech side. The product that I created was a G-Tech hand warmer, and we were able to get a full utility and design patent on it. And my goal from the beginning was to be able to get it onto the NFL, like top quarterbacks that were playing the sport, right? To replace this other product, to get it in the NFL locker rooms. I was rejected by, I think, all 32 teams. I was rejected by my first year. And then by the year that I ended up, selling my position in the company, I was, we had sold to 28 teams in the NFL. So I was able to penetrate, specific markets that I wanted to go to, and then the different verticals that came from that as well, we were able to exploit and attack as well. And the company was successful. And it really got me into, I consider this my second real project. Got me into what we're doing now with Forza, and which is now, of course, a publicly traded company, and we can talk about how that came to be. But
yeah. So let's kind of jump in, and we'll save a lot of the Forza conversation for the company overview next. Everyone watching,
yeah.
But, before we go today, you're the president and the chief executive officer of Forza Innovations. Walk people through what that looks like. Like what are the things you actually handle there?
The data, well. So there's many hats of the CEO for sure. I will say that some I'm very comfortable with and I love putting them on. And then there's others that are just, the shit that you don't want to be doing that is also equally as important. But remember, I've only been a private company guy prior to this. So this last year, I guess even longer, the last 18 months, just getting the company to become trading and current, and all of the compliance stuff that goes into your 10Qs and 10Ks, and just a whole hat, I could say, just on the compliance stuff. Good thing I have a good team around me that we're very diligent. We have a good system, which makes it easy for me to follow and track and stay on top of it. Then more so on the stuff that I'm really geared towards doing, my passion lies is obviously right behind these walls in our development lab here in San Diego, where we have, top 3D printing machines, top laser cutters, basically a playground for electronic soft good prototyping and manufacturing. So we're going to be able to work on these products that I have already had started prior to the world shutting down and prior to everything pre-pandemic, that we're going to fine tune within these walls, and being able to get everything manufacturer ready, gold sample ready for production is what we're going to be able to do here. And that takes, I can't tell you from my past experience, just how much time and energy and everything that saves by skipping that process in China, and being able to control your entire product development in-house with local engineers is key to success here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. What's interesting is, as you said, the role of CEO as it does have a lot of hats involved. Then when you enter the public markets, it doubles essentially, right? Because then you have that whole triples. Yeah, it's the whole other side of the business. You got to make sure everything's actually going on in the business, and then you also have to keep everyone in the world informed about it. You got to be the face. You have to practically be the salesman of the company to the rest of the world, both inside and outside, in a way, if that makes sense.
And while you're being a salesman, make sure you know what you're saying, because you better not leak out any information that hasn't been released to the market yet. Like, it's, in other words, very easy to get your ass in trouble. Your mouth can start getting you in trouble that your ass can't cash, and that can be an issue too. So again, I've learned, it's about the learning process. One thing for me is I love challenges. I'm all about the challenge. I want to learn as much as the stuff that makes me uncomfortable, because obviously that's that's telling me something. That's the stuff I need to work on. So I'm all about the self-improvement aspect and just becoming a good leader and doing the very best we can with the pieces that we're dealing with in the company. And I know that we have a great shot for success. Now, it takes a while to get these things just built to this stage. Like, we're finally really opening the doors, I say, to like being fully functional June 1st. You know, the team is finally assembled, coming in, and we're just all, starting to really press the gas here.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. You know, I've always kind of looked at it as good things take time, right? Good things take a lot of time to get built up and so on. Bad things happen all at once, but good things take time, man. That's kind of the natural way. You got to have patience and look forward and have vision. But Johnny, I feel like you did a great job of introducing people to yourself, giving us the origin story, so to speak. Thank you everybody for watching. On the next video, as I had said, will be more of a company overview, so stay tuned for that. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to send them over. For now, Johnny, thank you for your time today. Have a wonderful day.
Appreciate it, Mike. Anytime. Looking forward to coming on next week.